They smiling in your face all the time. They want to take your place. The backstabbers, backstabbers. I keep getting all these visits from my friends. Yeah, what they doing? They come to my house again and again and again. Somebody's out to get my woman. I don't even be home, but they just keep on coming. What can I do to get on the right track? I wish they'd take some of these knives out my bag. What they doing? They smiling in your face, smiling faces, smiling faces. Sometimes, hey, they don't tell the truth. Beware of the pat on the back. It just might hold you back. Jealousy, misery. I'm saying you can't see behind smiling faces. Smiling faces sometimes. Hey, people. Happy New Year. A brand new year, 2025. Somehow we made it through the storm and rain. We made it. Somehow we made it. Happy New Year, God before everything. Madine, hey. And that 75 is just me. How y'all doing? Los Marco Covington's here. Brooklyn sister. Hey, Brooklyn sister. Happy New Year. There's Tracy. Hi, Tracy. Well, we got to get him again, Tracy. I'm sorry. I know y'all getting along over there, but we got to call a thing, honey. Okay, here's what this is all. Good morning, and Happy New Year to everybody. Okay, I can't go down the whole line. God bless you. You made it another year. Listen, I was just over there watching Shawn Bradley, and apparently he was taking time to explain a situation he was having over there with Club Chat. And I found the story kind of interesting. So apparently he's fallen out with someone over there in their thing. And the woman accused him of accepting money from poor people, or somebody on Social Security, SSI, some kind of fixed income. And they were accusing him of being a bad person because he was accepting $20 a month from this person. Now, I would venture to say that probably most people are spending more than $20 a month, right? It's not like it was a whole lot of money he was getting from this woman, but apparently the woman was on a fixed income, and the person who he fell out with feels that it is cruel of him to accept her money. So he came on today to explain. Now, I don't have a particular side here, but there are a few things I want to point out here. I'm not currently beefing with Shawn Bradley. I have no problem with him. Of course, with Jay Wilson, it's ongoing. It's forever. So I'll always have commentary concerning his shenanigans. Anyway, he came on to explain. You can go over there to Shawn Bradley's page and see he came on to explain that there was a trip where this woman could not afford to go to Las Vegas with their group. Correct? They are a group that travels together. He wanted her to go, to be on the trip with their friends. Correct? He was in a position where he said, well, I want you to go, so I am paying for your airfare and your hotel. Correct? I want you to go on this trip. And she says, Shawn, that's just too much. You don't have to do all that, baby. It's just a trip, right? No, I want you to go. So he paid for her trip and airfare, which I'm assuming that, it's got to be $700-800, maybe a little more than that. Whatever it is, He could afford to do it, so he's done it. Apparently, he's done this kind of thing before. Now, the woman says, well, I think that's just a lot, but I can't afford to pay you $20 a month. And the woman has just to contribute, right? And the woman has been faithful. Well, we do that for Netflix, honey. We do that for YouTube. We do that for whatever we give a fuck about, correct? So this is why he was accepting her $20 a month. This is what she was. This is the widow's mite. This is what she feels like she can afford to do. And he accepted it. There was nothing, I don't see anything wrong with that, honey. It's personal business. But of course, when people try to spread personal business for malicious reasons and they don't know the facts or they hold back the facts, it becomes a big mess. So he's cleared it up now. I don't see him at fault at all, correct? But apparently, Jay Wilson, this is what we're going to talk about, of course. Jay Wilson has to chime in, of course. He's always looking for some way to put this man down, Shawn Bradley, and pretty much everybody else over here. So he latches on to the story, and he comes on. I can't deal with his voice, so I only watched a bit of that. He come on bragging about how, oh, I went to Amsterdam. Oh, that ain't no big deal. I went to London. Oh, I went to African countries. Oh, Jay Wilson, you're making a fool of yourself. You didn't go nowhere. Okay. You're trying to compete with this man because Shawn Bradley, for whatever reason, has a very good job. Most of us, I would include myself, are not going to be getting on planes every other day or 2 or 3 times a month, 4 times a month, and all this, going to places and being paid for their assignment. He's got a real job, Jay Wilson. You've always resented the fact that Shawn Bradley has got a real job and he didn't need all them damn degrees. Or so you say. You have these imaginary degrees that nobody can see. Point is, he's got a job that you would only dream about. Okay. You bitch and complain about everything that he does, of course. And when he bought a 6-bedroom house, see, Jay Wilson, here it is about the envy thing. We're going to get into the envy and the jealousy, correct? When Shawn Bradley goes on a trip, they're going on a trip. They're getting in a hotel. They're sightseeing around the city. They're going to the clubs in the city. They're experiencing the town because they are on vacation. And they can do this several times a year, apparently, because of what they put in on their job, their real career. Jay Wilson, when you trying to compare that with you in your 20s, you're in your 20s and you're flying on a plane and you are an employee of the plane and you're going to another city, but that is not your trip. You are serving the people who are on the plane, correct? You're bringing them their coffee. You're bringing them their fruit and their snacks, right? You're telling them to put the mask over their face, girl. You are on a job, Jay Wilson. Probably most of the time, you don't even leave the area of the flight because you got to get back on the plane, right? You're just passing through. They're actually at these places. I know it ate your ass up when they just went to Europe, girl. Oh, I've been to London. You passed through London working on an airplane, girl, where you were there to serve people, correct? When you got a hotel room, you shared it with other people there, the other flight attendants, girl. You just went there to sleep. And when you woke up, you got back on the plane for the return flight because you're not on vacation. You are working. There is no comparison, Jay Wilson. Correct? I wanted to point that out to you. So let me start my little talk. I want to, first of all, we're going to examine what the definition of the word jealousy. People use jealousy a lot around here. They've accused me of being jealous of these other bitches, which I could care less about somebody else's life, girl. It got nothing to do with me. But here's the definition of the word jealousy first. Noun, jealous, resentment against a rival, a person enjoying success or advantage, etc., or against another's success or advantage itself. This is the the definition of jealousy. There are other definitions of jealousy, like number 2 would be mental uneasiness from suspicion or fear or rivalry, unfaithfulness. That's when you're jealous of your significant other. You have good call to be jealous of Mark, because Marcus, I said, is out doing his thing, honey. You're probably following his car. Okay, the other definition I want to do is envy. To be envious, a feeling of discontent or covetousness with regard to another's advantages, success, possessions, etc. I think you qualify on both of those things, Jay Wilson, right? You've always resented that guy. Now you can say I gotta hate you, girl, ad nauseum about you. You live in a house where you live in San Antonio. There's no reason you shouldn't be living in the house. You're 55 years old, girl, right? But the difference between your situation and his situation is, I believe he just did an extensive remodel of this 6-bedroom mansion, certainly a big house. If he has enough money then to put into the property, that tells us his situation is much different than yours, Jay Wilson. You have been struggling and surviving the whole time you've been in there, girl. You are already into a second mortgage a year and a half after you moved into the motherfucker, right? Right? You're working 4 and 5 jobs, girl. You're on here today. You've already made what, 4 videos today, girl? It's the new year, Miss Thing. It's still that. It's not even noontime yet, girl. Or it's around noontime, girl. You've already made 4 videos. 4 videos a day for that. 4 videos a day for that. 5 videos a day for that. Girl, all these goddamn videos. Then you bragging about all the money you're not making no money, nigga. You're not making any money. You have to hustle and scrape and scratch, girl, to try to stay in a house that you do not need and you cannot afford. Him, on the other hand, he can afford it. So whether he needs 6 bedrooms or not is his money. He earns it. He can afford it. And he can afford to buy all new furniture for it. He can afford to remodel it. He can afford to put new bathrooms in it, new kitchens in it, whatever the fuck he wants to do, because he has a real job. A real job, Jay Wilson. Right? And you are very envious of this, girl. Extremely envious of this. Of course you are. You said you wouldn't got how many degrees? We keep exaggerating the number. You said you had 5 degrees, girl. You had 5 degrees and you're riding around in the goddamn Uber cab. You have to go and buy a new car because your old car is too old to drive to the Uber cab, girl. Most of the money that you make, you put into the car you had to buy in order to use the motherfucker. Your situation is totally different, Jay Wilson. And you are envious, both envious and jealous of that dude, right? So I don't know why Sean Bradley felt like he has to come and explain this financial situation, but it's difficult when people lie on you. But they envy you, honey. That's just part of the job, child. You're going to be around a bunch of poor, broke-ass people, girl. They're going to envy everything they can get on you. This is what I'm saying, I think. How y'all doing? Happy New Year's. Did y'all go out? Hi, Jesse. Annette 75. Shirlene Smith. Did y'all go out and get drunk last night? You know, being able to get drunk is a privilege. I'm just saying. It's not a privilege if you're alcoholic. But if you can go out and have a good time, you can drink and it doesn't affect your life, you don't lose your job because of it, girl, you are a blessed person. That's something to be grateful for. Oh, I can smoke weed. I don't got to smoke weed every day. I don't got to go to work high. I don't got to, drive my car high. And that's a blessing, honey. So we hope you all had a good time. I certainly had my day. So what do y'all think? Envy or jealousy? It is so blatantly obvious to me. And then Jay Wilson, I did see the part where he's over there running off all the places he had been. And he hasn't been to any of those places, Jay Wilson. When you buy a ticket and go there on vacation and you're able to stay there for a week or two, that is what you call traveling. What you're doing is simply being an employee, correct? You work on an airplane. The airplane's in the air all the time, girl. They're not taking out, giving you days to go and relax and sit on the beach and all this kind of bullshit, right? You go there and you come back, and then you go somewhere else. You go back and you come back, or if you're on the same route, you go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. You might have went to London 30 times, girl, and never even left the airport area. Okay, in case you're mistaken. A lot of people feel like it is a goddamn shame that you have not been able to apply yourself to anything. And you wind up on YouTube, girl, making nickels and dimes, this thing. And that's what you're making, right? All your complaining, oh, I made this check. He was on here this week, girl. Oh, this check gonna be good. Oh, December check is looking good. So, nigga, you've been on here 5 times a day, girl, 7 days a week. How many videos is that? 5 times 7, that's 35 videos in 1 week. God damn. A month is okay. 4 times 35. What's that? It's 70 and 70. 140 videos, girl. And you were talking about all the money you making. Nigga, you ain't making shit. You're making $5 an hour, if that. Correct? Because you don't have a real job. And as far as I can tell, Jay Wilson, you never had a real job. Even if when you were an airline steward in your 20s, girl, that was still a service position. Right? It's not what you expect from a doctor. I'm just saying. As far as I know, my pastor don't have part-time job driving cars, girl, doing a paper route and thing, doing a part-time job, doing the goddamn temporary assignments and all this, working at the Baby Gap and all this kind of stuff. Girl, it doesn't take all that. What's your name? Jay Wilson. When do you able to actually live in the house? Girl, you're going to be doing that shit until they put your ass in the ground, this thing. Right? Mortgage 1 and mortgage 2. Mm-hmm. Why are pastors scammers? Greed. Greed, honey. I've been to San Francisco airport for a layover. I can't say I've been to that. That's it right there, Jesse. I've been to San Francisco airport for a layover. I can't say I've been to the Bay. Exactly. You got a layover in Chicago. That's the only time they're spending in the towns, child. That you ain't been to Chicago. You don't even leave the airport. You can't leave the airport because your plane leaves in 2 hours. Correct? That's why I don't like traveling. Especially now, everybody's got a goddamn layover some fucking where. But he is checking these things off like he's actually been to all these places. Jay Wilson, every time you want to do something, you have to come on here and beg these people to give you the money for it. Every vacation, you have to beg them to give you the money for it. You're not ashamed because you're a beggar, correct? When Bradley wants to do something, he can simply do it. If he has to help the people who he wants to go with, then he can do that. This thing, or they can help themselves, and they can organize, and they can just do things. And they might take a picture in Paris, some goddamn, but they're not over here begging for 9 months. When you wanted to go on that little boat ride, girl, you came on here and begged for 9 goddamn months. Then you beg for people, oh, I'll collect the money for anybody want to do sponsorship. Anybody want to do, so some of them dumb people gave you money for a sponsorship to sponsor somebody who couldn't afford to go. What happened, Jay Wilson? Because as far as we know, not one person received money for the sponsorship. So what happened to the money, Jay Wilson? So of course you envy this boy. Of course you're jealous of this dude. Correct? Your mind has to wonder, what is he doing right? Because you claimed at one point when they threw you out of the school, the racist school you were working for, right? The homophobic school you were working for, and you said you were, I've been a professor for 2 years. I've been a professor for 2 years. Let me get my changes off. You said you had been a professor for 2 years, Jay Wilson, right? Now, I don't know what Bradley does for a living, but it seems like he has some kind of teaching capacity, right? So he is doing the very job that you should be doing, correct? I'm just saying, you said you are a professor in the university, so you're a teacher. I don't know why you're able to get away with the bullshit you do on here and then go up there and present yourself as somebody's professor, right? But whatever it is, he actually does it. And he does it to the degree where his company is willing to send him around the world to do it, girl. Of course you envy that. You're an envious person anyway. You envy me being on Social Security, girl. Why could you be envious of somebody on Social Security, on a fixed income, on a fixed income? Girl, you long for a fixed income, Jay Wilson, right? As I've told you many times, girl, when I wake up in the morning, I can go and do whatever the fuck I want to do, right? All my bills are paid, every goddamn one of them, Miss Thing. And you're jealous of that. You're envious of anything. If I found me some little boy off the street, girl, you know what? I say, I like him. He's a nice guy. He can come over and have a sandwich with me and all that kind of stuff. You'd be jealous of that, right? Because you're jealous of everything. When they have these definitions here, they talk about how people can be jealous of other people's relationships as well. That's why you're constantly involved in other people's relationships. Were you on here yesterday telling these people about raising babies and about pregnancies? What is wrong with you, Jay Wilson? You don't even have any idea what you're talking about. So how could you go in a class, girl? I'm trying to see the auditorium in a university, and you go over here with this mumbo jumbo, girl. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You're not a good teacher. That's why they haven't kept you. You have no tenure, no damn where. You said you were. I'm a professor. I'm a professor. You didn't have time to be a professor, sissy. You was on here goddamn 5 times a day. Even then, Jay Wilson, you're going to have to accept that your life has been a dismal failure. You have to accept that because the time is running out. I mean, the time is running out, nigga. It's you in your 50s, Jay Wilson, right? You still talking about shit you did in your 20s, girl. You talking about you were a flight attendant, Miss Thing, you were a flying waiter. That's all. And that's your highlight of your life, Jay Wilson. Why haven't you been able to make a right decision for your entire life? Correct? You come on here, oh, you made those decisions. I made those decisions. What decision did you make that was correct, Jay Wilson? I'm just saying. For me, my decision was correct. I wanted to party like it was 1999. I'm on the Prince train, right? Since I'm a grown ass man, I can do whatever I want to do, right? And I'll suffer the consequences if I waste a lot of time. I chose to waste a lot of time, girl. I cannot express to you the kinds of times that I had, but that was my choice, Jay Wilson. You're so involved in everybody else's choices. That's why I don't envy other people what they want to do, girl. If they want to go and have a career, if they are a wonderful basketball player or whatever the fuck they want to do, girl, good for you, nigga. You a grown ass man. Do your own thing. It's your thing. Do what you want to do. Don't let me tell you, boom, boom, who to sock it to. If you want to be a cab driver, maybe you will. Believe me, woman, it ain't shit. Mm-hmm. How y'all doing? It's gonna be a new. I can't believe I made it through a new year. What did I go through this year, Chad? I had surgery on my neck. We're still working on really, but another surgery on my neck. I didn't came through cancers. I didn't came through AIDS. I didn't came through a whole bunch of shit. So my response to the Lord is thank you. Thank you, Lord, for all you've done for. Yeah, yeah. It could have been me outdoors with no food and no clothes. Oh, I could have been alone without one dog or just another number with a tragic end. But you, but you didn't need to let none of these things be. And every day by your power, you keep on keeping me. And I want to say thank you, God, for all you've done for. Yeah, yeah. Mm. My pastor sings that song. Mm. Hi, Yvette. Giving him the business. He couldn't wait to jump over there. I talking about now Sean Bradley is being sponsored by the homeless, I guess, or by the people on fixed income. You know, he's obsessed with the fixed income. So he thought he caught him. Right. Now I'm not making no value judgment over any of these people, honey. They're all doing their own thing, right? But I gotta point out bullshit when I hear it and see it, honey. Mm. Happy New Year, OG Beauty. Nicola. Your name is Nicola Moreland? Remember your neck surgery and stop all that Jay Wilson shimmy. That Jay Wilson shimmy. Lord have mercy. I'm a grateful person, honey. See, you ain't been through the storm, baby. You know, they told me I had HIV. I was HIV positive. I was 28 years old. Imagine that. 28 years old. And you've seen AIDS claim the lives of virtually everybody you knew. This is back in Los Angeles, right? Yet here your ass is 35 years later, girl. And really, I've never been more healthy. I mean, I'm going to have issues. I know they're coming because I'm 66 years old, soon to be 67, right? But I'm a blessed person. Be happy with your life. Stop criticizing every goddamn body, child. That's what they try to tell that boy. He only comes on here, he want to criticize somebody. I choose to only criticize him. Maybe that's my assignment. You know, the Lord gives us assignments. All praise to God, honey. The uncles are beefing. Who are the uncles? Let me see. When the other blogger said his DoorDasher forgot his big rib, I'm thinking about you saying, girl, pushing all that food in your face. I can't use that name, Nicola, because what they do is they say they can't stand you and they wish you're dead and all that kind of stuff, but they still watch you, right? So the time you mention, and then they're going to claim they ain't a beef with you. No, I'm not beefing with you. I ain't got shit to do with you. You showed me who you were. And when someone shows you who they are, I believe them. You're going to be calling people, girl, and you had embarrassed my wonderful pastor, my church. I thought you was in the church sector. So that's how I feel about all that, honey. One of them stunts, I'm out. Oh, what do you call it? The doxing and all that kind of shit. Y'all had to read my books, starting with Murder in the Beef Sector. Murder in the Beef Sector, then Deadly Wager, and then Who Shot the Caller? All about these doxers, honey, and how I really feel. So I choose to what were the big stories of the year? I mean, there were so many. I can't keep up. I said, well, Timothy, you can go and recap the year, but I can't keep up with all that shit. I could try to keep up with the things that I found interesting. I do remember that Whitehead occupied a big part of this year. It wasn't so much about the beef sector, I don't think. Whitehead was the big story. He ended up getting 9 years in prison for defrauding people in his church, out of his church, whatever. He made a big deal out of, oh, she didn't go to this church. She didn't go to this. So therefore you can rob her. Whatever. He's gone for 9 years. Then Brother Reed, he has several stories. Which one did he start off with? He had several, honey, controversies. The TD Jake stuff, which is still going on. Then he had the Buddha stuff. Then he had the Andre stuff. Then he had the little soccer player stuff. So he occupied a lot of time this year. What were the other big stories? Y'all remember? You and Uncle Wilson. Oh, you and Uncle Wilson. Call that nigga your uncle. They ain't no Uncle mine, child. I don't remember what else we all talked about. Monique wasn't here this year. Of course, Kim Burrell makes her appearances every year. But her latest scheme is now she's going to write a tell-all book about Whitney Houston. Didn't the B.B. Winans write a book under the same title, Me and Whitney? I think he wrote the book under the same title. She wasn't even creative enough to come up with her own title. So that's about to be coming out now. Diddy, I covered Diddy just in the very beginning, And when they're actually in court, I'll probably pick it up again. But that dude has been in every day for the last, what is it, year and a half? That story has grown and grown and grown and grown. Plus, it was already going on years before the Cassie situation. But after her situation, then I don't think he ever gonna get out of prison unless they clump them all together. So that was the big story and still is with a lot of people. Wiley going to jail. Yep. Wiley showed out over at Vegas first. Then he showed out at Walmart, ended up in prison or jail, certainly. I think he was in there about 7 months. But looks like Wiley is back on his feet. He still doesn't have a place to stay on permanent place to stay. But he has housing. He's not on the street. And I believe he said he's moving to another place. So, fuck it. Stay in the system, honey. I did. When God told me it was over as far as drugs, honey, I got in drug program, transitional housing. I was in all that shit for 4.5 years. Going from one house to the other, honey. Staying put. Applying for the things I needed to apply for. And now I'm set. That's what Wiley needs to do. He has a sincere disability. He can still talk. He's talking pretty regular now. He says this because he's taking his medication. And that's what he needs to be doing. We all have challenges, honey. Right? Stay connected. Stay connected. So we're glad Wiley's, at least he's out of jail and he has shelter. So he has to, he's not on as much because he has to just get Wi-Fi where he can. What other stories, people? Jay-Z, I haven't even looked at two Jay-Z story. Some of that show business stuff, especially with Diddy. I mean, them guys have got, how many cases has he got? 40 cases, right? Then you have all the lawyers' cases, and now he's going to go through it with Jay-Z. I really don't want to see all these black people constantly failing. I can't imagine. Can you imagine how many black successful people, celebrity status, have legal issues, legal problems? They're all suing each other now, going to jail, I don't get any pleasure out of that. So I was hoping that Jay-Z is not as involved, but apparently he's involved in some kind of case that took place 30 years ago with some young girl, I guess. But I have deliberately not followed that. When these guys make it all the way to court, then I'll kind of report on that, I think. Abercrombie traffic and United Health Care guy. Okay, the Abercrombie Finch guy, the CEO, he was having boys, underage boys. Were they underage with Abercrombie? He always had all these beautiful boys, and he had controversy because he was sued for racial discrimination. All of his boys looked alike, and none of them were black or brown, right? So he ended up in a big scandal. I guess some of his boys were suing him. I don't know the details of that. He's not in jail, though. I don't think. United Health guy. Oh, I'm not familiar with that. Oh, my God. How could I forget the election? The election was the entire year. I was so disappointed. I was so certain that Kamala Harris was going to be the first female president, right? I just was so, because Donald Trump wasn't giving us nothing. He was going on stage just telling a few jokes and dogging people, and he would just leave. Sometimes he fall asleep while he was talking, right? But still, he won by a significant number. It baffles me even to this day how that could happen. And I don't think he gets bragging rights because there's never been a woman president, right? He beat 2 women. Those are the only people. He never beat a man. When Joe ran against him, Joe whipped his ass. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong. She is certainly qualified. I believe Hillary was qualified also to be the president, but America wasn't ready to vote for a woman, I think, because they couldn't be basing it on anything Donald Trump did. What did he do? I mean, what was his promises? Just to deport every goddamn body. Come here, you ding dong. Hey, ding dong. Come on. Oh, here it comes. You better run. What the hell's going on? Get it, bum over here. Put it right there. Get it, boy. Booty. Get the booty. Come here over here. Say Happy New Year to the peoples. Say Happy New Year. Happy New Year, people. Whee! Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Save me. My dad, he never feeds me. Come and get me, please. Isn't he beautiful? My dog helps me get through the years, honey. He's 10 years old now. It was rigged. I think there was also much trickery in that thing, man. And I don't think that Elon Musk, supposed to be the richest man in the world, I don't think he just all of a sudden became interested in politics just to be a hanger-on. They said he's been in Trump's Mar-a-Lago since the damn election. Now, aren't you supposed to be the richest man? Don't you have corporations to run? Aren't you trying to put people on Mars or something? But no, he's staying close to Trump, close to the politics. We let that man buy his way into the presidency, right? Honey, Trump owes that man a whole lot. And I think it's a lot more than just $100 million that he spent on the campaign, right? They're already starting to infight. They want only the smartest immigrants to come, to whoever can contribute to his country. To hell with what happened to New York City, the big lady. Bring me your hungry, your downtrodden. This is supposed to be a country of immigrants, but now it's turned. This is a country of white immigrants. Elon Musk is an immigrant. All his wives are immigrants. All the people he done put in positions at the White House, they're immigrants. Everybody's an immigrant. He don't want none of the darkies here. They're from shithole countries, according to him. We're going to see America, you're going to get just what you voted for. Now, I hate to think that all the rest of us have got to suffer through with the majority. That's what they're scared of, see? The white people, they want to maintain a majority rule over this country. That's what makes them so scared. And that's why they're willing to put a piece of shit like Donald Trump, a rapist, convicted rapist, thief, crook, everything in office, right? Because he don't want the minority. What are the minorities doing to you personally? Nothing. Oh, they're taking the American jobs. They're taking the black job. Child, wait to see what these black jobs are. How he's defining these black jobs. He's gonna make America white again. They're not even ashamed of it. Just right out loud, honey. And that's why they don't want us getting to be any bigger numbers or any kind of powerful positions, honey. Right? If they can get rid of our black ass, we'd be gone too. Correct? They want to make sure they maintain control. So whatever the white people want, that's what they get. When they go through all these damn countries and all this red shit. When they were doing the check off, be quiet, please. When they were doing, Karnacki was doing the maps of all the votes, and you saw how red this motherfucker is. All that red, all in the middle. The only time you saw that there was blue were on the perimeters, the big cities. That's it. So we got a long way to go, but that was so disappointing. Hi, Almond Brown. How you doing? Happy New Year. Kevin Moore, Vice President's wife. Who's the vice? Baby, Elon is going to run this country. Trump, I think he's got early dementia or medium dementia, right? So many mistakes he was making on that campaign trail where you saw the condition of his brain. Elon Musk didn't get to be the richest man in the world by mistake, honey. He's got a plan. And why would he be wasting all his time at Mar-a-Lago? I would think that he has 100 different corporations he has to run. Why would you pay $40 million for goddamn Twitter if you're not going to run it? Right? You have investments. Then you go in there and fire everybody at Twitter. That's what he wants to do here. Why? What would be your interest, Elon Musk? It's all about money. Damn, $400 billion is not enough for you? He can't be the president because he wasn't born here. That's what Trump said. He can't be the president because he wasn't born here. That's how he tried to get Obama. Of course, Obama was, in fact, born here. But since he couldn't become the official president, he has got a whole new position they have made for Elon Musk to cut all the goddamn services to this country. They're only concerned with rich people and their taxes, and him and all these goddamn space. We have enough problems here in America to be worrying about goddamn Mars. A lot of that money for them projects of his going up into space, that's American money. And he's going to get more of it. I'm doing okay, Almond Brown. I'm about, let me see. I think I'm 100 what is it? No, I'm 36,000. Whatever. I'm a third of the way through my new novel. Part 2 of the battle. But this one is all about politics. So it is correct. We talked about politics the whole year, and that's what I ended up writing about. I generally write about whatever is going on around me. But these are a little more sinister, these characters. Happy New Year, Dana Dane. Dana Dane. I hope I didn't miss any of y'all. I'm sorry. You know I'm getting old, honey. Jimmy Carter closed out the year. He's a good man, Jimmy Carter. Why couldn't Trump just go out like Jimmy Carter? Just do good works. You got all the money you need. You claim you said you had $11 billion when you started, but you could have left the presidency and went out. You were a one-term president, and you didn't even deserve to be that. You could have gone out with style. Even Bush has the decency to disappear, honey. Go out and travel the world, right? But you have so much trickeration in your shit, Donald Trump, right? So many court cases. Think of all the court cases. Why do they go through all these court cases if you ain't going to convict you and they ain't put your ass in jail? Why waste the government's money on pursuing all these court cases against him if they're going to end up dropping them and firing everybody around him? Now he wants to fire goddamn and convict senators because they weren't on his side. And America put up with this shit, all because they're so afraid. I might not never do nothing with my life, but I'm white. That's great. Can't wait until you finish so you can add to your collection. This is gonna be number 10, baby. What else happened this year, people? Y'all remember? What else what happened? What happened in the beef sector? Now it seems like the beef sector got taken over, at least for a bit, by the youngins. By looks like on the woman's side, it was Ness No Mess, or at least she came out from the bushes, came out from under Jay Wilson, and started her own page. Then on the male side, Lemon seemed to gain some traction. He came out from under Sir King and passed Sir King up, and so those two were kind of the main story here for a while. But now it seems things are coming back down again. We have the original players. Five Baby's back over here. She has to build her audience again. You got to say, you hope you got the patience, honey. You got to start from the beginning and build it up again, right? Some of the old timers seem like they had disappeared for a while and are coming back now. Deanna's making videos again. James Caldwell's making more videos again. So it should be an interesting year. We'll see. The original will always win out. The original come back whenever they want to, honey. Rick Reed, them, they come back. They still beef sector. They can get their same old place, honey. And they don't come back. He only comes back every once in a while, right? And sometimes people will come real heavy for a while, then they'll disappear for a while, and you get burnt out. You know, you get burnt out getting up every day and coming up with something to talk about. People like Jay Wilson, they'll come anyway, even though they don't have nothing to say at all. They can come back anyway because they have to. That mortgage does not get paid unless he comes back at least 3 times a day. That's really a sad way to live. Hollering and screaming ain't making no goddamn sense about nothing, child. So I'm glad I'm not in that position where I just have to force myself with gibberish and using other people. He act like he's doing these people a favor because they come to his page. No, they're doing you a favor because no one will come over to Jay Wilson if they have to just listen to your boring ass content because you don't have any. You ain't got no content, girl. He over trying to talk about the Bible again. Child, please. Let it go, honey. I think you need to let it go. Let it go, baby. Let it go, boy. Jay Wilson, you should have, after you finished seminary, or so you say, way back when, was that 20 years ago? You should have went to the church and volunteered to be an usher, right? You should have put time in the church, honey. You should have graduated from being an usher to being a deacon in training, right? And learn the ropes of the church, how to run the church behind the scenes. You have no preaching abilities, right? But if you were really a sincere Christian and you had dedicated your life to being in ministry, it's what you say you have a doctorate in, right? You would think you would go and be of service. The Bible talks about a servant's heart. You don't possess that. Because you worship money. You can't worship them both, Jay Wilson. And then your pursuit of money is so damn pitiful. I mean, I can have more respect for it if you were making some money, but you're not. You brag about all whatever little crumbs you've been able to beg up, girl. But you are the opposite of people who make money, right? If you made any money on YouTube, girl, if you could even dedicate yourself to some kind of content, girl, maybe you wouldn't have to drive the damn cab 4:30 in the morning, girl. Work a part-time job in the morning hours, make video at 12 o'clock, and then make another part-time job in the afternoon, and then come home and make 2 more videos, girl. That's a lot, Jay Wilson. It's so much just to stay in that stupid ass house. What is the purpose? Baby, I live in a 1-bedroom apartment. I'm telling you the truth when I say I am only sitting in this chair when I'm talking to you guys. So if I'm talking to you guys once, once, I'm on here like every other day or every 3 days or something like that for an hour. That's all I use the living room. I'm serious. I go in the kitchen, I use the microwave. I'm in there for 15 minutes, child. Correct? I'm just saying. A single person, they live primarily in their master bedroom, Jay Wilson. You ain't sitting around in that goddamn house, and you certainly never go upstairs, girl. You said you were running a business, you were Airbnb, but you didn't realize that you were supposed to leave the house if you were going to rent the house out on a daily basis, girl. Yeah, some people were making money, but they had other property, Jay Wilson. Nobody was interested in just renting a room for you upstairs, girl. Were you still there in the house? They want to rent a house. That's the whole point behind Airbnb. So that was another dismal failure. Jay Wilson, right? Now, Sean Bradley, he could rent his out when he's out of the country, honey. He could rent it out Airbnb. Oh, that would make the bitch crazy, honey. Oh, you got to rent your house. Oh, you got to rent your house. Elon is now driving mega tech bros from the mega idiots that love the orange. I just can't understand why they even care about Donald Trump. He barely even said anything since he won, honey. It's all we're talking about Elon and all the people who hate his ass, right? Elon Musk he's an obsessed person. He's obsessed. That's how he got to be the richest man on the planet, honey. And he's got his sights on the American government. He's taking over America. Taking it over right before our eyes, honey. Right? He's younger. He has more energy. He's also publicity hungry, just like Trump. Trump cannot stand people who outshine him. But Trump energy is so low, he can barely stay awake to finish a goddamn speech, right? So Elon Musk and that other guy, Bamba Masami, whatever the hell they are, they're going to essentially take over the United States government. If they're making decisions about how to cut $2 trillion, y'all don't realize how much $1 trillion is. They're going to cut $2 trillion, honey. They are essentially running the government. Those are the decisions he's supposed to make. What's Trump going to do? Look at me, look at me, look at me. Like he went over to Europe and pushed the other world leaders out of the way so he can get in front of the camera. Look at me. It's going to be a mess. And he don't care because he's done. He's done because he can't run again. And he's also done because he's going to be 80-something years old when he leaves office, child. He's done. So he can do whatever the fuck he wants to do. Hopefully he won't follow his German roots. We know what happened there. I don't even understand how he has time to be hanging around in Mar-a-Lago. I just don't understand that. From what I've seen, an entrepreneur, they're busy if they have three supermarkets. This motherfucker owns half the planet. Where he got time to be hanging around with Trump? Why? And why invest so much in it? And what he's invested so far, we know a couple $100 million. That ain't shit compared to what he can and what he can gain from the United States government, right? He paid $45 billion for Twitter. Now, well, that's the person who has a lot of money to just throw away. He can do whatever the fuck he wants to do. What's he going to do to this country? He has no respect for poor people, right? Poor people, I mean, that is essentially where the money comes from, right? To taxes. So he want to cut all services to anybody who needs help. That's what makes a country. Cut that all and invest it to make more money. Trump wants to have all these tariffs and shit. Oh, they got to pay. They got, just like he did with that organization for all the countries that got together. He was so obsessed with who's paying what, how much money you get. They're obsessed. They're money changers is what they are. Anyway, we will certainly wait and see what happens with all that. It's not going to be pretty. We're not going to ever know the real story. But believe me, it makes Donald Trump's asshole hurt when they call Elon Musk President Elon. People will look because you guys have. Oh, thank you, Shy Girl Complex. Sure, Shy Girl Complex is of the opinion the original will always win out. As long as the OGs are here, Shawn, James, Wilson, you. Why you put that food name before mine? Rick Reed, Deanna Irvin, Rita. Will all people will look because you guys have talent and can read. And we know the histories. We know right where to punch them in their guts. Yeah, I see a resurgence. People get burned out, but they long for this thing too. We get just as much out of this as y'all do. It is good entertainment. I have all but turned my TV off. Everything is from YouTube, girl. YouTube, Netflix. Although I'm somewhat disappointed in Netflix. I just don't see that their entertainment after COVID, it never really came back. Right? It used to be a movie, 3 times a week? So hopefully they get their stuff together. But they're entertainment for the whole world, though. So Bush is happy. Okay. Elon is now diving mega tech pros. Mega tech. He wants to keep his mega pros, mega bros. He wants to keep them and eject everybody who's not a millionaire. You ain't got you got to have at least 10, 20 million. Right? Or you serve no purpose. Your life means shit. That's why Trump was able to lock you in cages and take your kids from you. It's a lack of respect. It's a lack of respect for humanity. They don't care. They see success in dollar signs, not in being the most educated. And why in the fuck do we have all of these other countries who are so much better at tech? Are we supposed to be one of the greatest nations in the world, or so we claim? We can't train people better, or our minds less? It's something to think about. So the white people, the poor people who think they are in control, they say send them all back. We don't need them. Give us those jobs. Then Trump and Elon, their issue is, no, you're not smart enough, and you will never be. Well, really? Well, how in the hell you get to be the president then? If America's so stupid they can't do shit, why are you the richest man in the world, and based in this country? Right? Anyway, I'm just rambling. Can y'all remember any other big stories this year? What else happened? Y'all young and viral. Y'all know what's going on. The baby, yeah, he's 10 years old. I got him, he was 3. We had the same birthday. Because I gave him the birthday when I got him. I got out the hospital with cancer. I couldn't make it a month. My dog died about a month after I got out, a month and a half. My other dog, Jimmy Dog, he died. And I couldn't make it a whole 6 weeks without a dog. So I went and got my Jimmy Dog, and that was 7 years ago. A dog makes the difference. When you retire, you can be there with him. I keep trying to get Gamish to get him at least a cat. He won't do it. He said, oh, no, I'm not here enough. I work. I said, people who work, they have dogs and cats, honey. Something to love. Honey, if Jay Wilson can get a dog, anybody can. Leandra being drunk every 5 minutes. Poor Leandra. Baby, I've been a drunk. I've been in my 20s. So I understand. I have more compassion because I've been through life. It's a hard thing to kick, but you would think that since she is such a spiritual woman, remember, she was not only a singer, she's a pastor as well. You would think she would be able to kick it. But I've seen it many times. Some people die drunk. But I didn't really, I'm just hoping the best for her. I just think she's a brilliant singer, entertainer. Right. And when her time comes, however, Bible say we can't lose. Yeah, I had one of my best friends. He's the guy who financed my first book, Meth Monster. But he couldn't get clean. And the shit ended up killing him. And many times I run into people who I knew on the streets years ago who are still in it and they can't kick it. It's hard. Y'all keep saying, kick it, quit it, Lord. But did you ever try to turn your sick soul inside out so that this world will watch you die? And it may not be such a bad idea if I never went home again. You got to come through. I don't know the answers to that. Why some people get it. I think though, if you stay committed though, I think God does help us. Your faith will bring you through, honey. Your faith tells you everything is going to be all right. Right? I don't have to get high. I don't have to do shit. Everything's going to be fine. God's going to take care of it. You got to believe that. At the beginning, you feel like you can't make it. This is me. I like to drink. I like to do all this kind of stuff, right? You feel like that this is who you are. It's not who you are. Your mama didn't give no birth to no drug addicts or no alcoholics. They'll say, oh, my mama was a drunk. My daddy was a child. And there are many people who had that kind of background and are not alcoholics, honey. Right? So we just hope the best for the people. Keep on thanking God. T.D. Jakes, Marvin Winans falling out in the pulpit. That assault on T.D. Jakes, I don't know why it hurts me so much. It hurt me to my core. It hurt me just to see a person dogged like that. I mean, we have to have more respect for our leaders, honey. That's a spiritual leader. And I don't buy into this shit that if somebody's gay, it's like the worst thing in the world. We sold that bullshit for hundreds of years, but it's not true. It's always been a lie, right? Whether he's gay or straight, it doesn't make any difference. He still should be judged by the content of his character and his ability to preach the word, to do his job. So they try to crucify. What amazes me is many of the ones who try to crucify every gay person that makes it any goddamn where are gay themselves. What's going on, Harold? How you doing, brother? You look like my uncles. Yep. They almost all gone now. I only got one left. Yeah, so the Jake story was a big story too. I mean, Larry Reed had a whole lot of stories, all interconnecting all this year. But he's still doing his thing, so, you know. I dips over there a little bit, but after I see what some of those people are about, I don't want to be bothered with that. That ain't no good, and it's a bad witness, right? Because people are saying, "Did you calling yourself a church sector? And you're supposed to be the holy people, the believers, honey. Damn, your behavior is worse than the people over here in the beef sector." Mm-hmm. Waiting for Larry to go to jail. What Larry going to jail for? I forget. What's he going to jail for? Lord have mercy. They're gonna start asking Larry about all these riches of his, right? Because when we see the numbers, I get on average somewhere between 2,000 and 4,000 views on my videos. Larry Reed lately, last couple of years, he's not getting much more than that. So people will wonder, well, how are you living in mansions and riding around in Rolls Royces and Bentleys, and you say you have hundreds of thousands of dollars around your neck and all this kind of stuff, and people are going to start wondering, well, you couldn't be getting it from YouTube. I don't see you getting that from Facebook. So where's it coming from? You know. So we'll see. Sometimes you pick on other people, and eventually they're just going to turn on you. Someone's going to take interest, and they're going to start looking at you. So just make sure your own house is in order, honey. Oh yeah, King Jives lost all that money. Well, he didn't lose as much. At first, they said he lost $750,000. $750,000. They came on. That was a story for a minute, right? Then when he went back to court, it turns out to be $50,000. I think it's somewhere around $75,000 total now. But that's a whole lot different than $750,000, right? Anyway, he had that big fight with Felton. Everybody fighting, fight. The government calls that unexplained wealth. Right. No, he's done things in music, and I think he's even been on a TV show at some point. But the numbers don't seem to be numbering, in my opinion. But, you know, I don't know all that man's business. Hopefully, we can just let him go this year. I don't know. I'm just going to tell the stories as they come up, if they're interesting to me. Mm-hmm. All right, people. So, Happy New Year. I hope this one's better than the last one, honey. It keeps getting better. Right? Larry arranged that Jamaican guy to marry Marco's ex-wife. You get a green card. Okay, y'all want to start some stuff. All right, people. Happy New Year. Later.